Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. The Christmas sweaters are on inside EA Diddle Arena tonight as the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers get set to meet the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles. And good evening, everybody. Alongside former Louisville star David Padgett, I'm Jordan Burnfield. Thanks so much for joining us tonight here in Bowling Green. David, when you look at Western Kentucky, the first guy that you normally look at is Charles Bassey. He's one of the best players in the country, but tonight he's in street clothes out after an incredible game against Alabama on Saturday, tweaked his back, and so the Toppers will be without him tonight.
Yeah, and you said it. Charles Bassey, without a doubt, is one of the best post players, but also the best players in the country. And on both ends of the floor, quite frankly. Preseason Conference USA Player of the Year, preseason second-team All-American. Does it all for the Hilltoppers, and his presence is certainly going to be missed by Rick Stansbury and crew tonight.
Came in leading the NCAA in blocks, in rebounds, and sixth in field goals. So a big loss for Rick Stansbury's team tonight. But one thing we should mention, of course, is that Bassey is coming back from a big-time left leg injury last year. So the Toppers have played without Bassey. Certainly it's a big loss, but last season they nearly were able to win their conference despite the fact that Bassey was not on the floor. Perhaps that experience will help them in a game like tonight.
No question. And not only have these guys played without him last year pretty much for the whole second half of the season, but these players around him are experienced. There's juniors, there's seniors, guys that have played a lot of basketball together over the course of the last few years, and they know what they need to do. I mean, look, Charles Bassey's presence is certainly going to be missed. There's no question, but Rick Stansbury has a very talented team this year. These guys know what to do. They're ready for the moment, so look for them to pick up the slack.
There is Rick Stansbury's record in this building at Diddle Arena, 50-12. He's done nothing but win since he's been here, and as a team that a lot of people feel is going to be real special. In fact, they did receive a couple of votes in this week's top 25, and so the expectations are high here in Bowling Green, but they typically are for this WKU team, and so we'll see them take the floor without Bassey tonight. On the flip side, Tennessee Tech comes in 0-8. Second-year head coach John Pelfrey, of course, former Kentucky star, now back in this state for this game tonight. Second season with the team, and certainly trying to build that program up and establish a culture, David.
Yeah, and you know, anytime you take over a program, it's not easy. You certainly have your challenges, and then you throw in on top of that everything that's going on across college basketball and across the country right now with COVID. They've had to deal with their shutdowns. They've only had 6 guys that have dressed in all 8 games so far this year, so they're still trying to figure out how to gel the pieces together. But you know, look for them to try to come out here tonight and play hard and try to get that first win of the season.
Not only their players, but their coaching staff. Just 2 of the 8 games have all of the coaches for Tennessee Tech been available so far this year. First possession does not result in a basket for the Golden Eagles, but it might for the Toppers, but Anderson can't come through, but still able to get his own rebound. Now Josh Anderson will work it around.
Yeah, Josh Anderson, one of the guys that's really going to have to step up tonight in the absence of Charles Bassey, and that's a good sign right there for the Hilltoppers right out of the gate, knocking down the 3. But Josh Anderson has played really, really well. He's super athletic. He's got enough size to score inside and out, so look for him to kind of pick up some of that slack here tonight.
Luke Frampton knocking down the 3. He starts in the place of Bassey, who is out. Luke Frampton, the transfer from Davidson, an awesome three-point shooter, and you saw it on display right there. Here's Goldman inside off a good pass. And Shandon Goldman, the transfer from UNI, the first bucket of the night for Tech.
And that's one of the areas that we're going to have to keep an eye on as far as where this Hilltoppers team is going to miss Charles Bassey. As much as anything, he's the best shot blocker in the country, does an unbelievable job of protecting the rim, and these guys have to know that tonight he's not back there to erase some of their defensive mistakes.
Kenny Cooper on the drive, the kick to Tavion Hollingsworth for 3, that won't fall. And now on the move to the bucket is Franklin, and that won't go for him. Mario Franklin, the junior out of Chicago. Frampton, another long 3. That's good.
Well, I guess one way to overcome not having a 17-point-a-game score on the block is to come out and knock down a couple threes to start the game. But that's what Luke Frampton provides for this team. They're not a great three-point shooting team, but that's certainly what he does. And obviously coming in with his first start of the season, feeling pretty confident.
Redshirt junior out of Poca, West Virginia is Frampton. Here's Goldman trying to get inside, and a jump ball is called. Possession arrow will send it the other way.
Yeah, we see Luke Frampton knock down one on the previous possession and just stepping in with confidence. And again, a guy who really brings a different element to this Western Kentucky team because he can do that right there. He can stretch the floor, and with this four-guard lineup here tonight, look for him to really try to step out and really create from behind the arc.
18-19 season, he led the A-10, 103 pointers made. This time it's Carson Williams off the window.
Yeah, and Carson Williams, a guy that, like we talked about at the beginning, that has played a ton of basketball, and he kind of does it in a variety of ways. Can knock down 15-foot jump shots, can score around the rim, can post up, a great defender. So again, it's just going to be a collaborative team effort here tonight to make up for the presence or the absence of Charles Bassey.
There's Junior Clay for three. He's the leading scorer for the Golden Eagles. Comes up short. The rebound to Frampton. Williams, nice pass underneath. Hollingsworth cannot finish. Offensive board, and Hollingsworth fouled.
In Western Kentucky, one of the best rebounding teams in the country, a +7 margin on the year, which is very impressive. I know it's only been 8 games, but based on their competition and their strength of schedule, that's a very, very impressive number. A terrific offensive rebounding team, and see Tavion Hollingsworth there doing what they do, getting to the free throw line. In their 2 losses this year, they didn't do a great job of attacking the rim and getting fouled. In their 6 wins, they've gotten to the free throw line a significant amount of time, so this is where they're very comfortable living.
Getting to the line, as you said, is something that Rick Stansbury teams do. Under Stansbury, Western Kentucky has taken 1,035 more free throws than their opponents have attempted. And that's pretty amazing. And they have always really, under Stansbury, no matter where he is coached in his various stops, has always had a team that takes way more free throws than its opponents.
Yeah, and again, like I said, you look at their 2 losses against West Virginia, they only got to the free throw line 8 times, and against Louisville, they only got there 11 times. So certainly a team that's not going to settle for jump shots and looking to attack that rim.
Demaria Franklin with a jump shot that falls. Tech with its 2nd basket of the night here early on. Hollingsworth gets into the paint, puts it up, and he's fouled again.
I can't say enough about the development of Tavion Hollingsworth over the last 3 years and into his senior year this year. You know, not a highly recruited player coming out of high school in the Lexington area here in Kentucky, but basically was from the moment he set foot on campus, the keys to the ship were passed to him, and they said, here you go. And he has just learned how to run his team, how to play the point guard position, and has turned himself into an incredible college player and has had a great career, a chance to surpass the 2,000-point mark later this season with a chance to even become the school's all-time leading scorer. So a pretty remarkable career so far.
He's 15th all-time in Western Kentucky scoring, 1,613 points coming into today, already 3 tonight. And you see this veteran backcourt for Western Kentucky. Obviously, Bassey is a star for this team, but they've got all the pieces to be a team that can really go deep this year.
They do, and there's a reason why they were picked first in the preseason to win Conference USA, based on their experience level, their talent level coming back. Obviously, Rick Stansbury is a terrific coach, and EA Diddle Arena here is one of the toughest home court advantages in college basketball. I know it's going to be a little different this year without all the fans, but you know, this Western Kentucky team, they feel like they have something to prove as well. You know, they had a chance to win their tournament last year, missed a couple crucial free throws down the stretch, but they feel like they've got all the pieces this year, not only to win their league, but to make it to the NCAA tournament and make a deep run.
Austin Harvell, the freshman, picks up the foul. That is his first, and now back down the floor come the Toppers with an early 7-point advantage. Frampton goes inside, Carson Williams to lay it in.
Yeah, and a good set there coming out of the dead ball, getting Carson Williams inside for an easy layup. Hilltoppers seem to be, even though they're missing their star inside, they seem to be clicking on all cylinders early.
Retry off target from Harvell. Hollingsworth pushes across. Frampton again for 3. That one too strong. And now a foul. Both teams go to the rebound. And it brings us to our first time out on the floor. Carson Williams scoring early for Western Kentucky, and they've got the early advantage. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Burger King. Mix and match your favorites for just $5. And Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. Here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, at EA Diddle Arena, which normally is one of the loudest in college basketball, and Big Red is taking pictures with some of the limited fans who are in attendance for tonight's game. Young and old, for sure, and a couple of familiar foes coaching in this one with John Pelfrey for Tennessee Tech against Rick Stansbury. Both of them were previously in the SEC. Pelfrey at Arkansas, Stansbury at Mississippi State. Got to coach against each other, and Stansbury 6-2 against Pelfrey in those games. But a couple of them were very close games, decided by 5 points or less. So these two guys looking forward to facing off with one another.
And John Pelfrey, a Kentucky native, Paintsville, Kentucky, had a terrific career as a player at the University of Kentucky and has had a very successful coaching career. He's been all over the place, some stops at Florida and Arkansas like we talked about, but he knows how to build a program, and it's just going to take some time, as it does. And then, you know, you throw in on top of that the challenges of COVID and everything that's going on this year, but he will get this Tennessee Tech program turned around. There's no doubt about that.
One thing that he said is Hollingsworth hoists a three and knocks it down, is that when you're in the process of trying to rebuild a program and build a culture, one of the things you need is practice time, and you need game time. And obviously this summer with the lockdown due to COVID-19, didn't get that opportunity with his players, but he said he's been so impressed with how they've handled it this year, and he really feels like the future is bright.
Cohesion is so important, not only for the players, but the coaching staff, the in-game interaction, the practice time. There's just so many elements that go into it, and when all that is kind of, you wake up in the morning and go to the office, you don't know what's going to happen that day. Your team might get shut down for 10 days or 2 weeks. So it's just dealing with all these variables. But obviously they're not the only ones. It's all around college basketball. But he's done a really good job of keeping these guys, and the players deserve a lot of credit too. They've stayed with it. They're trying not to lose their confidence. Obviously it's been tough. They've played a tough schedule, but they know that this is preparing them for league play. So the more battles they go through, the more battle tested and ready they'll be come league play.
Try to go inside here, but that is thrown away out of bounds. Kenny White Jr. trying to get it down low for Amadou Sila. You take a look at their schedule. 6 of their non-conference opponents won 19-plus games last year. This has been a gauntlet so far. You look, Indiana, Tennessee, Xavier. When you're a rebuilding program trying to gain experience, those are not easy assignments.
No, they're not, but they'll pay dividends in the long run because of the experience factor. And you know, you look at Indiana, Tennessee, Xavier, this Western Kentucky team all on the road. They're only going to do you guys so much benefit down the line, especially when you get into league play, and they've had some tough losses and overtime loss and so on and so forth. So as the season goes on, I look for this team to get a lot better.
One of the things that's been good about this Western Kentucky team of late is Jordan Rawls, who just made that bucket, coming off a career-best 20 points in the game against Alabama last Saturday.
Yeah, Jordan Rawls is a guy who can really score, coming off a terrific performance against Alabama, can step out and knock it down, can score around the rim. They have a lot of talent on this Western Kentucky team, top to bottom.
Loose on the floor, both teams vying for it, but a nice job by Isaiah Kozart to get it out. Will it lead to points? Rawls has that one in and out and out of bounds. It will stay, though, with the Toppers. Western Kentucky to inbound from underneath its own hoop. And it goes into Kozart.
Isaiah Kozart, a guy obviously that hasn't gotten a lot of playing time because of Charles Bassey's presence, but with Bassey out tonight, he's going to look to get some extended minutes to see if he can take advantage of it and try to get in that rotation moving forward.
Rawls goes cross court. Davion McKnight stops and pops and knocks down the jumper.
And that's why this Western Kentucky team is so dangerous. They have so many guys that can score. You know, obviously Charles Bassey gets a lot of the attention, rightfully so, but you got Tavion Hollingworth, you got Jordan Rawls, you've got Davion McKnight, Josh Anderson, Kenny Cooper, so on and so forth. They just have so many ways that they can beat you. So if 1 or 2 guys are having an off night, they have 3 or 4 other guys that can step right up.
Look at Rawls through the defense to the basket, and a timeout taken. Jordan Rawls now with 4 points in the game early on. Rick Stansbury's team already up big. Well, right before the break, you saw Jordan Rawls split the defense, go right to the bucket. And this guy coming off a big game against Alabama, Jordan Rawls, the sophomore out of Chattanooga, whose dad was a star for Austin Peay back in the late 80s. And Rick Stansbury was an assistant coach, so he's known the Rawls family for a long time. And look at that performance that he put forth against Bama to knock off an SEC foe.
Yeah, confidence is an amazing thing. When you have a game like that, especially as a younger player, I know Jordan's a sophomore, so he's obviously been through this for a season, but when you have a game like that on the road against an SEC opponent and a terrific win, your confidence moving forward just skyrockets. So he's a guy that will probably look to take some pretty significant leaps here as the season goes on.
And there's a kick. So much depth for this Western Kentucky team. One of the many reasons why this team was picked to finish first in Conference USA. And that pass from C.J. Gittlefinger trying to get inside for Goldman, but a little bit too hot to handle, and a turnover. Gittlefinger, the transfer from Oakland University in Michigan. He's a Knoxville, Tennessee native, got to play in his hometown when Tennessee Tech played Tennessee last week. Here's Frampton on the wing for another three. This one won't fall. Rebound to Franklin, who pushes across quickly. Franklin trying to go coast to coast and draws the foul.
Yeah, good job there by Demaria Franklin getting that rebound and pushing the pace. You know, when you're playing against a good defensive team like Western Kentucky and you're struggling offensively, get out on the break, get a couple easy ones, get to the free throw line and see if you can get your team going on the offensive end of the court.
Cozart picks up his first personal. Demaria Franklin to the free throw line. First one is good. Franklin missed the first 5 games of this season due to COVID-19 protocols. Every team in the country has been dealing with it, but Tennessee Tech in particular just hasn't been able to get all their players on the court at the same time. Franklin knocks down both free throws. Davion McKnight, the freshman, will bring it across. Drives the lane, tries to kick, and it's pickpocketed by Franklin, who races the floor to lay it in.
And there you go, 2 consecutive possessions in a row where Demaria Franklin making something happen on the defensive end of the court. Good steal, pushes it, quick 4 points to get the Tennessee Tech team right back in this game.
Rawls lost the handle, out of bounds.
And sometimes when your offense is struggling, the best way to create offense is off of your defense. Demaria Franklin, great steal, push in transition, nice finish over the rim. Tennessee Tech hanging tough here.
Tomorrow, 2 of the Pac-12's top teams square off in Eugene. UCLA takes on Oregon at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, right here on ESPN2 and the app. The Bruins have won 3 of the last 4 against the Ducks. The Pac-12 basketball in the middle of the afternoon tomorrow. I sure think those dogs probably are enjoying that as well. They're enjoying the start here tonight, 22-10. And certainly for John Pelfrey, I know he's got a few other things on his mind tonight. We wanted to send best wishes to John's dad, Jack. He just got out of the hospital and has been dealing with some health issues, and so we wish you well. We hope you are feeling better, and we hope you're able to enjoy the game tonight. Jack, we're all thinking about you, and certainly your son is while he's coaching this game. An offensive foul against Western Kentucky. It'll send it back to Tennessee Tech.
And the second foul on Carson Williams, certainly something to keep an eye on since Western Kentucky already a little thin up front with Charles Bassey out of the game. So ill-advised foul there. Not out of control. One of those block charge calls that seems to be a pretty hot topic of conversation here over the recent weeks of college basketball. But
yes,
nonetheless, since Carson Williams to the bench with two fouls probably for the rest of the first half.
Here is Shandon Goldman for 3. Can't get that one to fall. Hollingsworth races across, gets to the paint, and draws a foul. Hollingsworth just moves so quickly down the floor. Huge strides.
And he's got good size, too. When he gets in the lane, not only does he have great quickness to get in the lane, but he's got great size to be able to shoot over smaller defenders. And he's done a terrific job of putting the pressure on the defense. And is a capable shooter, not a great shooter. So he plays to his strengths. You know, why take a bunch of jump shots when you know that's not your strength? Put the ball on the floor, get to the rim, try to get fouled.
And now a whistle will send this one the other way. Cozart called for the foul. Second on Isaiah Cozart. So some of that interior depth, as you mentioned, David. Now Cozart with 2, along with Williams.
And Western Kentucky has the ability, if need be, because of their depth, to play small with what I'd call 5 guards. Obviously, that's not ideal, and probably not what they're looking for, but because of their talent level, they have the ability to do so.
Tennessee Tech inching closer. Kenny White Jr. the bucket. Freshman from Madisonville, Kentucky, on the board for the first time tonight.
Tennessee Tech doing a good job here over the last couple minutes of kind of getting Western out of their rhythm offensively. Good active defense there. Deflection on the shot, 8 seconds on the shot clock. So Tennessee Tech, even though they got off to a little bit of the slow start, came out of the gates a little slowly, climbing their way back into this game on the defensive end. As we see here, doing a good job of keeping the ball out of the lane, challenging the jump shot without fouling. Good deflection. 8 seconds here, not a whole lot of time. Certainly don't want to rush, but Tennessee Tech looking to kind of turn up the heat here.
8 seconds to shoot now for Western Kentucky. Hollingsworth into the paint, puts it up at the buzzer, no. Almost stolen back by Hollingsworth, but racing across Junior Clay. The kick to Franklin for 3, off target. Sela tries to save. How about that for Tennessee Tech?
Great hustle all the way around.
Then an offensive foul. Man, that's frustrating because they did a great job to keep that possession.
And that's also going to be frustrating for John Pelfrey. And I don't want to touch on it too much, but it does seem to be a very hot topic of conversation right now. And we give Western Kentucky credit right there. They stepped in on the drive. But it seems like there's just a lot of inconsistency with that call right now. It seems like the offense is getting the short end of the stick too often. And, you know, you give the defense credit. They're doing what they're taught. They're doing what they're supposed to try to do within the rules of the game and how the officials are calling the game this year. But just seems like more times than not, it's a little questionable.
Josh Anderson, the throwdown, and he's known for those. Up and away for Josh Anderson, the senior from Baton Rouge.
Yeah, it might have gotten away with a little bit of a travel there, but nonetheless, Josh Anderson, a guy who certainly plays above the rim. No doubt about that, and no exception right there.
Here's Sela underneath, had that one frustrated by Cozart. Rawls tries to get inside and kicks out McKnight. Hollingsworth thinking about the 3. Cozart into the paint, gets it to fall, and a foul. Oh no, I'm gonna send it the other way. Travel is called.
Yeah, might have taken a couple happy steps there, but Western Kentucky turning it up on the defensive end as well. Good deflection. Easy outlet from Hollingsworth to Josh Anderson, and doing what he does best, playing above the rim. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to do that on cue?
Yeah. Pretty great.
Makes it look so easy.
He does. Absolutely does. Going back, though, to that block and charge, because it is an interesting discussion that you bring up. How could they make it more consistent? What is a way that you feel like it could be officiated where there's a clear line of demarcation there?
Well, it's changed so much over the years that I think we've almost gotten to the point now where everybody's just confused on what they should do. Referees, players, coaches, everybody. It's almost like we've gotten to the point where any contact with a defender almost is going to seem like an offensive foul instantaneously. And you know, I'm sure we all saw the game the other day, the Xavier Marquette ending, ended on a charge call where the defender literally got out of the way, and it was called an offensive foul. And you just there's got to be a fairness to what both players are trying to do, and we can't just assume. Assuming is the worst thing anybody can ever do, and look, referees have the most thankless job in sports. There's no question about that. But there's got to be some clarity moving forward, because at some point it's going to end up costing somebody a game, and I know it already has a couple times. So it's something that's got to be figured out over the course of the season.
Kevin Osawe into the lane. No. Second chance, can't find the bucket. Out of bounds off of Goldman. And will stay with Western Kentucky.
Yeah, Western Kentucky treats the offensive backboard as an offense in and of itself. As soon as that shot goes up, they got 2-3 guys crashing that glass hard, trying to create extra possessions, like we talked about. One of the best rebounding teams in college basketball, +7 through the first 8 games of the year. Very impressive.
McKnight will inbound, and now Rawls. Western Kentucky near the end of the shot clock. Long 3 try won't fall. Franklin grabs it.
And give Tennessee Tech credit, even though they may be a little undersized, they're doing a pretty darn good job on the defensive glass, not allowing second opportunities. Great pass there, but not allowing second chance opportunities for the Hilltoppers.
Beautiful pass from Demaria Franklin to Tuwante Williams. And now a traveling violation is called, a turnover by the Toppers as it brings us to break. Josh Anderson, you've seen this before. Trust me, you've seen it on SportsCenter's Top 10 Plays. This is what this guy does. We'll show you coming back. There is Josh Anderson, and one of the reasons why this Western Kentucky team is so exciting is that man, when he gets in the open floor and has a chance to dunk the basketball. Yeah, he's been on SportsCenter's Top 10 at least 6 times with these thunder dunks. Now look at him get through the lane, Dave.
The thing I love about it the most is he just has that mindset, like he's going to try to take that rim off every single time he goes down the lane. And to be on SportsCenter Top 10 6 times is unbelievable, but I just love the fact that he goes in there and he is thinking nothing but dunk. And obviously he has the physical ability to play above the rim, but really, really impressive around the rim. And, you know, he's going to make guys around the rim who maybe or may not be shot blockers think twice about leaving their feet.
Well, it's a great point that you make, because so many guys, it feels like, go up and they try to lay it in, they try to finesse it in, but you're not blocking that.
No, and he's going to get the benefit of the doubt. If he gets fouled, or if there's even a little bit of contact, the official's going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's going in there so aggressively. So I'd love to see that.
Out of the timeout now, a travel against Tennessee Tech. So a turnover by Junior Clay. After a hot start for Western Kentucky, it's been a little bit of a rough go of it over the last few minutes. They've got 5 turnovers in the last 5 minutes and 18 seconds, and they're one of their last 8 from the field as they bring it across here.
You know, you get out to an early lead like that, quick 16-point lead, it's easy to relax. And one of the toughest things to do in sports is to play with a big lead, because that's what you do. Naturally, you relax. And a couple careless turnovers, a couple easy missed shots, and, you know, give Tennessee Tech credit. They very easily could have folded when they got down early, but they've hung tough, and they're battling.
Anderson inside. This time he'll lay it in.
You know, your Tennessee Tech, it's tough. You've done a good job defensively. You've done a good job keeping them off the offensive backboard, and then you've kind of shot yourself in the foot on the other end with just some turnovers that have allowed Western to kind of get out on the break and get a couple easy baskets. So Tennessee Tech's definitely going to have to do a little bit better job here taking care of the basketball.
There's a 3 from the top of the key, well short. Hollingsworth comes out with it. Feeds inside for Anderson. Alley-oop slam for Josh Anderson.
Josh Anderson just making it look too easy, and terrific job, Tavion Hollingsworth. Again, Western Kentucky limiting him to 1 shot. And when number 11 and White gets the ball out in transition the open floor, he's going to make the right play every single time, especially when you got guys like number 4, Josh Anderson, running the break. And about as easy as it gets in the open fast break, open court.
Hello, SportsCenter Top 10 again, perhaps.
His hands are going to hurt if he keeps this up by the end of the night.
Oh. Thunderous dunk from Anderson. And a 14-point advantage. Josh Anderson, a hot start for Western Kentucky as this Tops team plays without Charles Bassey tonight. Well, when you've got guards with the athleticism and the ability that Western Kentucky does, you can weather the storms, and certainly they have.
Well, Josh Anderson is, we call him a guard, which he is, but he's 6'6". He's a senior. He's played 3 years. Very experienced. Just, these guys know. Look, would they like to have Charles Bassey out there? Of course they would. He's their teammate. But they know what they need to do, and I'm sure in timeouts, I'm sure Rick Stansbury doesn't have to say a whole lot. He knows that when they were in a little bit of a lull there for that 5-6 minute stretch, the players knew what to do. It's a player coach team because of their experience, and as a coach, if you're Rick Stansbury, that makes your job a whole lot easier.
Sure does. And now out of the timeout, Tennessee Tech will inbound. Bringing it across is Tawante Williams. Williams against Frampton, trying to get to the paint, misses there. And the rebound comes to Osawe. Hollingsworth for three. A little too strong there.
Yeah, and Tavion Hollingsworth certainly capable of making that shot. Has knocked down a couple threes this year, but his strength is really getting into the rim, and maybe settled a little early on that one.
Down low they go. Amadou Sila off the glass, no. Tipped around out of bounds. It'll stay with Tennessee Tech. Saturday, this is one of the greatest basketball rivalries in college basketball. Number 23 Louisville hosting Kentucky at 1 Eastern, noon Central on ESPN and the app. Wildcats have won 3 straight, 7 of 8 against the Cardinals. I know you'll be watching that game on Saturday, David Padgett.
Yes, I will. And thanks for bringing up the fact that my alma mater has lost 7 out of the last 8. I appreciate that.
Well, I'm just reading what they tell me to read. I was afraid to read it sitting next to you, but
we look we look through the windshield. We don't look in the rearview mirror. But no, that'll be an interesting matchup. And I will say one thing, having been a part of that rivalry for a long time, both as a player and a coach, you can take the records for either team. Kentucky obviously struggling mightily this year. Louisville off to a pretty good start at a tough loss at Wisconsin last weekend. But when that game happens, you can take the records and throw it out the window. That game is going to be a battle no matter what, no matter when, no matter where it's played.
Always a fun one to watch for sure. So we will be tuned in on Saturday. And here's Franklin for 3 from the wing off target. Comes out to Hollingsworth. Tavion drives, stops in the lane, and draws the foul.
And a decent look on the other end by Demaria Franklin for Tennessee Tech. But, they've actually had some decent looks, just haven't had a chance to convert. But Tavion Hollingsworth, that's where he's at his best, in the open court. And like we've talked about at the Open, Western Kentucky loves to get to the free throw line. And Tennessee Tech has struggled this year with playing good defense without fouling. Their opponents have shot significantly more free throws than they have on the year. But Western Kentucky is going to look to push every single chance they get.
John Pelfrey talking to his team, trying to keep them playing as hard as they have. You said it before, David. Yes, the game started with Western Kentucky up 22-6, but Tennessee Tech is hung tough.
Yeah, and that's a credit to not only Coach Pelfrey and his staff, but the players. I mean, it's so easy to get discouraged when you're having a tough year. You get down early the first 5 minutes of the game, but these guys are battling, and that's why there's no doubt in my mind that eventually they'll get this turned around, and as the year goes on, they'll certainly look to improve and get better.
One thing John Pelfrey said when we had a chance to speak to him is it's a players-driven team. If these guys take ownership for it, he said, all I can do is be on the side of the court telling them what to do. It's ultimately up to them. That's one of his freshmen, Kenny White Jr., who's now got 4 points. And an offensive foul will go the other way.
And Tennessee Tech doing a great job. That's the 8th turnover of the game for Western Kentucky, and they're really being active. They're getting in there, had a couple steals. Good job there by Junior Clay stepping in, taking that offensive foul. So a little sloppy here for Western Kentucky, but give Tennessee Tech credit. They're stepping in. I'm okay with that one. I know I've kind of given my 2 cents a little bit, but that was pretty good on that one. He stepped in, established his feet, and did a good job of taking the contact.
Yep, another block charge. I think that the official arbiter of the block charge is Rex Chapman, right?
Twitter sensation.
Exactly right. Off the miss there. Here's Hollingsworth. He'll take it in the corner now for 3. That one rims out. Another Kentucky guy. I feel like I could say that when I'm in the state. Here's Davidson going down low, and a travel. Brings us to a timeout on the floor, 28-18. We're almost at Christmas, and the sweaters are looking great. NBA hoops, and this man, not Big Red, although I would love to just look at Big Red, but Jimmy Buckets last year, an incredible performance for the Heat, especially leading them to the NBA Finals in the bubble, which feels like it was last week. But what a season for Jimmy Butler. Looking forward to seeing what he's got in store for 2021.
Yeah, that was a terrific series to watch as a basketball fan between the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Lakers, and almost impossible to stop LeBron James in a 7-game series. But look for the Miami Heat. I would not be surprised come next summer if they're right back there in the finals.
It's just a great organization, right? It's like no matter who they bring in, whatever they do, they always find themselves winning. And so now back out of the timeout. McKnight for Western Kentucky. Work it to the wing for Anderson. 7 seconds to shoot. Back to Rawls at the top. Long 3-try, won't go. And a foul underneath.
Yeah, pretty good defensive possession there for Tennessee Tech. Got an over-the-back foul, which is going to keep it to the Hilltoppers. But Western Kentucky came out, tried to get Anderson inside on a little bit of a post-up. Tennessee Tech played it well, and unfortunately for them, they weren't able to finish the possession with the rebound. And Luke Frampton, probably not the guy you want to foul going to the free throw line. But if you're Tennessee Tech, just got to continue to take this one stop at a time. I mean, you have not shot the ball well, shooting 32% for the game so far, and you're only down 10. Make it 11 now, but you're still in this. So just compete and just try to take this one possession at a time.
Rick Stansberry's team trying to get to 7-2 before the Christmas break. Luke Frampton now 9 for 9 at the free throw line this year, 7 first-half points.
Yeah, I was a little surprised his first free throw even hit the rim. He's one of those guys that every time he lets it go, you think it's going to go in. You're almost surprised when it doesn't go in. He's got a great-looking shot and a terrific pickup in the transfer from Davidson.
Awesome shooter. Nice pass down low, and it is Tawante Williams to lay it in.
Yeah, and a terrific backdoor cut, a great bounce pass. About the easiest finish as you'll get around the rim. And again, that's where Western Kentucky really misses Charles Bassey on that end of the floor, his shot blocking ability.
There's Gettelfinger. Williams wants to find a posting Sela. Instead, we'll have to bring it out. 10-point lead for Western Kentucky, 2.5 minutes to go here in the first half of play in Bowling Green. Williams behind the back, gets to the paint against a double. 3 seconds to shoot. 3-try right at the buzzer, and it never got to the rim. So that's going to be a shot clock violation against Kenny White Jr. Well, tomorrow, Bowl Mania rolls on with 2 more games on ESPN and the app. The R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl is at 3 o'clock Eastern. Louisiana Tech takes on Georgia Southern. And at 7 p.m., 7-3 Memphis squares off against FAU. Bowl games are here, and they are going.
I was just about to say the same thing. It seems like they just picked the Final Four over the weekend, and we already got a game going here this week. But
that's
hey,
right. This
time of year, not much else to do except watch sports on TV, so I'm okay with it.
Measure your productivity level by how many bags of potato chips you consume throughout the day. Maybe that's just me this time of year.
I'd say that's most of us, especially during a pandemic.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Goldman with the foul. For Shannon Goldman is first, the graduate senior from Evansville, Arkansas. He thought coming into tonight, he'd have Goldman and Sela trying to work in tandem to try to guard Charles Bassey, but I think they feel like it's a little bit of a sigh of relief that they don't have to deal with one of the best big men in the country tonight. Osawe splitting the free throws. And now Davidson, Tennessee Tech.
Well, it certainly changes your game plan from a defensive standpoint, no question about it. I mean, you're essentially preparing to double Charles Bassey on every single catch. Now all of a sudden you find out he's not going to be playing, and you're not going to change a ton, but at the end of the day, you spend a couple days preparing, and you kind of have to scrap that at the last minute. But it's funny, as a coach, you always think, I always worried more so when one of the better players on the other team wasn't playing and we found out last minute, because naturally his teammates are going to rally more knowing that they don't have him out there, so they're going to be even more revved up to play. And I'm very impressed with Tennessee Tech so far here tonight to stay around and kind of hang in this one after the slow start.
How tough do you think it is for Bassey, too, just to sit there and watch, especially when last year missed almost the whole year with the leg injury, and now on the bench here, though they do believe it's pretty minor and that he should return coming out of the Christmas break?
Oh, it's brutal. As a player, there's absolutely nothing worse, and especially when you're playing as well as he has been playing. I mean, coming off a 27-12 effort at Alabama, he's a surefire NBA draft pick, and of course he would want to be out there, but obviously you got to put the health and safety first and foremost. And after this game tonight, Western has about a 9-day break. January 1st is their next game, so they're kind of hoping that if they can just get through this one tonight, it'll give him even a longer extended break to get healthy, and he'll be ready to go come Conference USA play.
During his freshman season and the way he was wowing everyone, they were getting upwards of 20 scouts out here to Bowling Green, Kentucky to see Charles Bassey play, and there were about the same number last year coming into all the games. This year, of course, with COVID, the scouts are not traveling, so can't be at all of his games, but people have been watching Bassey for a while. On the run, rolls up and under and lays it in.
And that's been the best offense for Western Kentucky here over the last 10 or so minutes of this half, has been creating opportunities off of their defense, getting steals, shooting the passing lane, easy finishes on the break. And Tennessee Tech's done a good job in the half court defensively, and Western Kentucky's just been able to take advantage of their turnovers.
That was their first field goal in 5.5 minutes. One of their last 7 from the field now. 7 seconds to shoot here for Tennessee Tech. Franklin's got to put up a 3 and knocks it down. Demaria Franklin now with 9 first-half points.
And that's huge, regardless of what happens right here in this possession for Western. That gives Tennessee Tech all the confidence in the world going into the halftime locker room. So big-time 3 there at the end of the shot clock for Franklin.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Burger King. Mix and match your favorites for just $5. Coming up is our halftime report. The Blue Bloods playing well, and some of them are struggling. One of them is Kentucky, and also Michigan and Rutgers. How about the way Rutgers has played so far this year? I don't think that Big Red is dancing for Rutgers. They do wear the same color, but I'll digress. Either way, we'll have that coming up. Dallin Cuff, Seth Greenberg, and Sean Farnham will have our halftime report coming up.
Yeah, Rutgers with a very impressive win over the weekend against the top 25 Illinois team, who's one of the more talented teams in the country. So can't say enough about the job that Rutgers has done so far this year. And talk about another place that, as far as difficulty from a home court advantage. Now, obviously, again, disclaimer goes without saying, things are not the same this year, but the RAC, when that place is rocking, wow, about as tough as there is in college basketball.
The RAC is another one of those great venues, and yes, there are some fans in this venue tonight here at Diddle Arena, but typically when you get a full house in here, boy, this is a great place to see college basketball, and we miss fans that cannot be here tonight, and we look forward to the days when college arenas are filled up with people again. 7 seconds left in the first half. Hollingsworth, 3 seconds, 2. Can he get a shot off in the corner? A 3 try. McKnight gets it to fall at the buzzer. Davion McKnight, a 3 for Western Kentucky to put the Hilltoppers back up by double digits going into the break.
Yeah, and a terrific job there by Tavion Hollingsworth. Got in the lane, didn't force it. He knew what the clock was, how much time he had, found the wide open Cooper in the corner, was able to knock it down, and big time 3 there heading into the locker room. But I still think Rick Stanberry is going to get after his team a little bit with their lackluster energy here down the second half of this first half.
Yep, Kenny Cooper, the 3, knocks it down at the buzzer, and the first half comes to a close. So 36-25, Western Kentucky the lead over Tennessee Tech. And we'll now head back to the studio. Dallin Cuff, Seth Greenberg, and Sean Farnham will have your halftime report. The Toppers ahead of the Golden Eagles through 20 minutes. Fans of all ages rocking out here at Western Kentucky, where the Hilltoppers lead Tennessee Tech 36-25. Second half is coming up after this. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Burger King. Mix and match your favorites for just $5. Fountain Square Park, as we welcome you back to Bowling Green, Kentucky. Western Kentucky at 36-25 lead over Tennessee Tech as we get set for half number 2. Kenny Cooper hitting a 3 right at the end of the first half to give them the double-digit advantage. Luke Frampton had a real good start to this game, David. 8 points, a couple of threes early on. Demaria Franklin, though, was a real nice piece for Tennessee Tech. He was consistent through that first half.
Yeah, he certainly was, and great play there coming out of the halftime break. Demaria Franklin right on cue.
He might have been listening to us there. Yeah.
Easy backdoor layup, but you know, for Western Kentucky, it's certainly been an adjustment not having Charles Bassey on the court. You know, you lose such an important piece of your puzzle offensively, and you're forced to try to figure out how to play with him quickly, and you don't really know maybe where your go-to is. And Carson Williams, obviously.
Anderson in there for the cleanup dunk, and Charles Bassey loves it.
He just lives for these top 10 plays, doesn't he? But as I was saying, you know, Carson Williams obviously picking up his second foul there hurt as well, and it just took away their only other true post presence and interior presence beside Charles Bassey, so they had to rely more on the perimeter, which is not their strength, but nonetheless took an 11-point halftime lead, and look for them to come out here pretty quickly. A quick 4 points coming out of the gate.
Hollingsworth parts the sea and gets right to the basket untouched. And quickly a timeout as Western Kentucky takes a 13-point lead just like that to start the second half. Josh Anderson, another throw-down dunk. It's what this man does. He's done it a couple times tonight, the rim rocker for Western Kentucky. Thirteen-point advantage for Western Kentucky, and a couple of high-flying plays out of the break. One of those from that man wearing number 4, Josh Anderson, with another big dunk tonight. 8 points in this game, 4 rebounds as well. You're going to shoot pretty well when you're dunking the ball. But David, he's just fun to watch.
He is. He's an electric player, and you know, he's also very skilled in other areas. Can score in a variety of ways. But yeah, like you said, when everything's a dunk, it's pretty easy to look good.
Absolutely. Franklin now with 13 points after the make there. Williams going inside and draws the foul.
And a little bit of a breakdown there defensively for Tennessee Tech after the make. Got to sprint back and turn around. Really no reason to give up such an easy non-fast break type basket. Tavion Hollingsworth saw it, took advantage of it, and just didn't get matched up in time. And Carson Williams going to the line, chance for 2. Junior
Clay picking up his second personal. Carson Williams, the transfer from Northern Kentucky into this program. Rick Stansbury saying he really likes Carson. He's sort of a throwback kind of player. You know, has added the three-point shot to his game over the course of his career. He's been a very efficient player on the inside. Plays defense well, knows his role. You like to have guys like that.
Yeah, the prototypical guy that is not going to do anything that he's not capable of doing. And guys like that you just love to have as a coach, because you don't have to coach him. He knows how to play, stays within his limitations.
Now a foul coming up here. Luke Frampton picking up his first. Nice start to this one for Frampton. Got his first start in a Western Kentucky uniform with Bassey out underneath. Nice pass to Goldman, who lays it in.
Yeah, just a breakdown there defensively, miscommunication on the dribble handoff, and 2 guys ran at the guy with the ball, and somebody forgot to cover the basket. So Coach Stansbury not going to be real happy with that one tomorrow in film.
Williams lost the handle on that one. And Out of bounds off of Tennessee Tech. It'll stay with Western Kentucky.
Yeah, we see here on the underneath out of bounds play, just a simple little wide down screen dribble handoff, and miscommunication there on the ball as well. But not only Josh Allen and Josh Anderson, excuse me, and Tavion Hollingsworth got to protect the basket first. I mean, if anything, you give up the long jump shot just based on percentages, but got to protect the rim first and foremost. But again, I know I've touched on it several times, but not having your anchor back there on defense, and Charles Bassey, as we see Frampton there fouled underneath out of bounds play, those guys are so used to their defensive mistakes being covered up and erased by Bassey, and now you take that element out, and plays like that is where he just provides so much of a spark, and like I said, just erases mistakes. And it's just, you can't put a statistical number on how important that is to have somebody back there like that protecting the rim.
Luke Frampton at the free throw line. Goldman goes back into the game. Shandon Goldman, transfer from UNI, who sat out voluntarily a year ago so that he would have the ability to transfer to another program, and now finds himself with Tennessee Tech. Goldman thinks about the three. Now goes inside on Williams. Kick to the corner, Davidson. Into the post, Harvell puts it in off the glass.
Yeah, and a great job getting in the middle of the floor and selling that shot fake. And if you're Josh Anderson right there, you got to stay down. I mean, make him score over you. Probably got lucky there, you didn't pick up a foul, but just use your length, make him score over you, but nonetheless a good move.
Three ball from the wing, good for Frampton. Luke Frampton is having himself a night. 13 points for Western Kentucky.
Picking up right where he left off there. We're starting the second half the same way he started the first half, I should say. And again, just every time it leaves its hands, you think it's going in.
Franklin the miss, rebound Goldman, and he's fouled.
We see on the interior here, great job by Harvell. And again, Josh Anderson, just stay down. You got to stay down, but great head fake there. On the other end, a lot of help and a lot of attention paid to Carson Williams rolling on the inside, frees up Luke Frampton on the outside and doing what he does best.
Shandon Goldman knocks down the free throw. But what a nice addition Luke Frampton is. Transfer from Davidson. Hasn't started a game yet, but it just shows you the kind of depth that this Western Kentucky team has. To have a guy that could come in off the bench who was a starter for Davidson. Score you 13 points. Anderson gets the roll.
And that's where his size is just going to take over. Good job there of getting him the ball in the block and just getting to the middle, getting to his spot, not making it too complicated. And at 6'6", has the ability to score over people.
Junior Clay with the acrobatic drive and draws the whistle. Kenny Cooper saying, wait, me?
Ooh, and not so sure that one's a foul there. Pretty good job by Kenny Cooper leaving his feet, going straight up, and a rule that was changed a few years back where if the defender leaves his feet and doesn't break the plane of verticality, is allowed to make contact. And I thought Kenny Cooper did a pretty good job there. Tough call on that one for 21 and white.
That's the first point for Junior Clay. Makes both of the free throw line. Came into tonight's game leading scorer for Tennessee Tech, just under 14 points per contest. Preseason All-Ohio Valley selection. So a little bit surprising. Quiet game so far from Clay. Maybe this gets him going. On the wing, Anderson trying to get to the paint, and a foul called on the floor. Yeah, this is how you high-five a bench in 2020, 2021.
There's a real one right there.
Yeah,
but
we need that vaccine as soon as possible, don't we?
I mean, if we don't miss the high five, we don't miss anything.
It's true. There's Frampton. Another open three. That one won't go.
They give Tennessee Tech a lot of credit here. They've done a pretty good job of forcing Western Kentucky to play on the perimeter. Now, Frampton obviously very capable of knocking down that shot, but Williams had it in the lane there, and Tennessee Tech did a good job of making him kick it out for a perimeter jump shot. And Tennessee Tech scrapping, fighting, clawing, trying to stay in this game any way possible.
They're hanging around. Junior Clay now with 4 points. 4 straight for the Golden Eagles. Knight got into the lane. The foul will be called against Harvell, and it'll bring us to a timeout on the floor. Western Kentucky the lead, but it's getting closer. Tomorrow, 2 of the Pac-12's top teams square off in Eugene. UCLA takes on Oregon, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, right here. ESPN2 and the app. The Bruins have won 3 of the last 4 against the Ducks. Is the kids in the house or getting all the dance moves? That's the floss,
That
right?
is the floss. Very impressive.
Okay, at least I knew that.
I've got kids, that's why I know that.
So can you do the floss?
Are you kidding? If we want a halftime segment for an entertainment segment, maybe we can put me on camera trying to do that, because it would be horribly embarrassing. I'll do it if you do it. How about that?
I think that we're missing a big opportunity here to watch you do the floss.
That'd go viral, no question about
For
it.
the viewers of America, I don't think I can do the floss. I have tried and failed miserably. There's a bucket good from Rawls. Western Kentucky back up 13. Now on the drive, a miss from Davidson, and Anderson racing across the floor for Western Kentucky. On the wing, a 3-try is good.
Transition basketball. Western Kentucky with 11 fast break points in the first half. And again, when your offense is a little stagnant, not quite in rhythm, struggling a little bit, best thing to do, score on the break before the numbers get set up.
Miss from Clay. And now Hollingsworth again for Western Kentucky. Williams will take the 3. Can't get that one to go. Junior Clay, no. Williams will slow it down. Rawls right through 2 defenders, cannot finish underneath.
And Tennessee Tech got lucky there. Way too easy for Jordan Rawls getting all the way to the rim without any resistance.
Harvell thought about it. White's got an open 3, and it just won't go.
Yeah, Tennessee Tech not a great three-point shooting team, only shooting 25% on the year from behind the arc, and 1 for 11 here tonight. Even though that was a great look, unfortunately not able to take advantage of it.
Western Kentucky has also struggled from 3 so far this season. Tonight, though, they're 5 of 16 in the game overall. Rawls along the baseline. Now Williams getting to the paint. No. Junior Clay.
Both teams getting a little sloppy here. Western Kentucky's had a couple good looks around the rim, just unable to convert, but both teams maybe a little just out of sync, out of rhythm.
3-try from the top of the key. That one is good from Austin Harvell.
And probably not the way Coach Pelfrey drew it up, but nonetheless, you'll take it. A much-needed three-pointer there to get this game back within 12.
Tennessee Tech now 2 for 12 from distance in this one. Williams spinning into the lane, draws contact. So 53-41. As we say hello up here, we have a nice, beautiful view of
Bird's eye
Arena. Yes, bird's eye view. He's David Padgett. I'm Jordan Burnfield. Thanks so much for joining us here in Western Kentucky tonight. It's been a good one so far. Western Kentucky a 12-point lead. Of course, no Charles Bassey. We wish he was on the floor, but trying to get himself healed up as he gets set to return after Christmas. Charles Bassey, one of the country's best players, coming off an incredible game against Alabama with the 27 points, 12 rebounds in their victory over an SEC opponent. Rick Stansberry, really since he was coaching in the SEC, has made a habit of picking off opponents in the SEC since he's been here with the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, just a terrific win last week on the road, no question about it. And we talked to Coach Stansberry earlier today, and he said if today was an NCAA tournament game, he still doesn't know if Charles Bassey would have been able to play. And you know, obviously they just didn't want to do anything to jeopardize his health long term. So you know, we wish him a speedy recovery. As we see Tennessee Tech, I thought they may be going a little zone there for a second, back to man-to-man. But you know, they missed Charles Bassey. There's no question about it. And it's been an adjustment here the first 30 or so minutes of this game, trying to figure out how to play without him. And I know they're all hoping, as are the rest of the Hilltopper fans out there, that they don't have to play without him anymore for the rest of the season. But you know, hopefully, I don't know what's going on in there with the water bottle. Hopefully they get it back on the floor here soon.
Well, you hope that he's all right, but it sounds like he is. Talking to people with Western Kentucky today, it sounds like he is going to be fine, and it's not a major injury by any means.
Well, and that's something that this year as well is a lot of programs have been affected by it, what they call those soft tissue injuries, muscle pulls, ankle sprains, back spasms, stuff like that, simply because teams haven't had a normal season or off season to prepare for the regular season because of COVID, because of shutdown. They shut down for 10 days, 14 weeks. Now all of a sudden they have 2 days to try to get back in shape, prepare for a game, and it's just hard. And there's just so many moving parts to this whole thing. But one thing I do know is that these players are happy to be out here playing.
They are. That is one constant that we've heard from every coach, every player. They are thrilled to at least be on the court, despite everything going on, all the sacrifices that they have to make.
Western Kentucky Hilltoppers having some fun here. 12-point lead, 11 minutes to go. Hilltoppers looking to go 7-2.
Bassey got a shower. New Year's Day, ESPN, the top four will meet as they have their chance to get to the national championship game on January 11th. Not a whole lot of surprise to me with these top four, despite what happened this weekend. Ohio State winning the Big Ten championship, Clemson winning the ACC, and Bama winning the SEC. And Notre Dame stays in. They were 2, they dropped to 4. Any surprises to you? Would you have changed anything?
Well, I'm far from the next football expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel like at some point we need to just say, okay, Alabama and Clemson just skip right to the title game. Just play. Whoever wins, wins.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just,
right, I know.
I can't even, I mean, LSU last year, obviously, with Joe Burrow at quarterback, but it seems like every single year it's Alabama and Clemson. Now, I will say.
Ohio State, right?
Yeah. I will say, I like the underdog story. I kind of wish at some point they would expand it to the 18 playoff. I think it'd be fun. You know, hey, I remember several years back, Boise State went in and upset Oklahoma, and, you know, there's certainly been some stories along the way, but why not? It'd be great. It'd be great for the sport. People would certainly watch the games. It's not like people aren't going to watch the games, and it's another chance for some of these teams to get one more game under their belt. So I hope at some point they do expand that, but I have a feeling it's going to be the Tide and the Tigers once again.
Yes. Well, being in Cincinnati the last few days, I know there's a lot of thought about if the group of 5 has a team that goes undefeated, how do they not get a chance to be in the playoff? Cincinnati undefeated this year and will not be in the playoff. Here's Goldman underneath, lays it in.
Yeah, probably not quite the play they were looking for, but nonetheless, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But, you know, can't say it enough. Tennessee Tech hanging around this game, just hanging around, only down 12, and put together a couple stops here on the defensive end. You never know what might happen.
Well, this is that kind of culture building, right, that John Pelphrey talked about a lot today, the coach of the Golden Eagles. I mean, granted, they're not winning this game, but you come to Western Kentucky where Rick Stansberry is 50-12 in this building. Granted, you don't have a full crowd because of the COVID season, but this is as hard a place to win as any place in the country, and his team is hanging around despite being 0-8.
Well, there's no such thing as moral victories, obviously, but I will say Western Kentucky is a top 25 caliber team. There's no question about it.
Yep.
You know, obviously, Charles Bassey is not playing today, but for them to come in here and give this kind of performance, you know, it's only going to pay off for them down the stretch as they get into conference play. And, you know, if anything, it'll give them confidence moving forward, knowing that they can play with such a talented basketball team.
There's McKnight now, top of the key. Kylan Milton into the game. Western Kentucky, Rick Stansberry trying a couple different guys in the game. Knight on the drive, knocked out of bounds. Freshman from Shelbyville, Kentucky, Davion McKnight, a guy that 6th in Conference USA so far in assist-to-turnover ratio. Rick Stansbury really likes what he's seen from McKnight. Talked a lot about today how he loves the attitude that this kid brings. He said whether it's practice, whether it's a game, whatever drill it is, he goes with the same effort, the same attitude, the same passion, the same dedication. He said, this is a kid that we can build around because he's going to carry that attitude and energy in everything he does, and it's only going to benefit future classes having him around this program.
Well, for him to be able to come in as a freshman and crack the rotation of such a talented and experienced team says a lot about him. And Western Kentucky has done an amazing, amazing job of recruiting in-state talent. And, you know, you're obviously, naturally one would think you're competing for kind of the leftovers, I guess, of the two blue bloods in Louisville and Kentucky. But Rick Stansbury can compete with anybody. He's proven that everywhere he's been, and it's no different here with this team he's put together. It's for the Hilltoppers.
Free ball good for Osawe. 15-point lead now for Western Kentucky. It's Franklin stopping for the long two, won't go. Osawe skies to grab the rebound. McKnight on the drive around Davidson, can't get it to fall, but a foul called at the end of the play. Davion McKnight, just the latest Kentucky Mr. Basketball to choose Western Kentucky. Look at this. You might think that the Kentucky Mr. Basketball is going to UK or going to Louisville. They're coming here to Western Kentucky. Davion McKnight, Tavion Hollingsworth, and Carson Williams, all on this team, all former Mr. Basketballs in this state.
Yeah, and you might sit there and say, how in the world did the Kentuckys or the Louisvilles of the world not get these kids? I think it's a credit to these three players for not maybe reaching above where they should end up going. And what I mean by that is Tavion Hollingsworth, perfect example. Could he have had a chance to go play in the SEC or the ACC? There's no doubt about it. But coming here, he had the opportunity from day one to come in, run the team, and now 3 years later, he's got a chance to be a 2,000-point scorer, has a chance to be the all-time leading scorer in the history of the program. And if he had gone to Kentucky or Louisville, he may have sat on the bench for 2 years, not had a chance to play. So, you know, for these guys to be able to come to a place like Western Kentucky, which, you know, let's not kid ourselves, has a very, very rich basketball tradition. You know, some terrific players and coaches that have come through here over the years. And this is definitely at the top of the mid-major programs out there. So just great to see that they're keeping these talented kids home here in state, and they've turned into great players and had great careers.
Nice pass underneath, and Dane Quest with the pass underneath to Selar. All right, now Western Kentucky will bring it across.
And Tennessee Tech's had quite a few of those opportunities tonight. Done a great job getting the ball in the lane right around the rim, just haven't been able to finish.
That three comes up short for Rawls. Cozart underneath, no. Another opportunity here. Retry off target for Milton. Davidson open, hits the three.
And a great job there by Demaria Franklin of not forcing the issue and trying to force it to the rim. He saw Davidson in the corner, wide open. Great transition kick out, made the simple basketball play and rewarded his teammate.
Keyshawn Davidson now 5 points tonight, the sophomore from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Stop and pop Osawe, nope. That ball got flipped up in the air, and now a foul is called.
And Demaria Franklin doing a great job pushing the pace in transition. Keyshawn Davidson running to the corner, could have forced it, avoided the charge. Wide open in the corner, step in, knock down rhythm three. Just a great job of unselfish basketball, making the right play.
Demaria Franklin's had a good game tonight. 13 points for Tennessee Tech, leading the team in scoring, also 4 rebounds and 3 assists. The Golden Eagles trailing by 14. Cozart on the floor with 4 fouls. White tries to go inside for Sela, knocked out of bounds by Kozar. And it brings us to a timeout on the floor. Kenny White and Tennessee Tech trying to hang around. The Toppers going for win number 7. This is one of the ways that Tennessee Tech is standing up for social justice with these shirts that says enough is enough. Join us for social justice. And they wanted to spell it this way because the misspelling will stand out, make people have to take a look at it, may make them feel uncomfortable to see it written the wrong way, so they'll want to find out more about it. The purpose is to bring attention to it. And as part of the Center of Diversity Education, promoting unity through diversity, this is a program that's been set up on the Tennessee Tech campus. You see the quote here, they believe kneeling is the best way to use their voice to bring attention to these issues. They are in no way meaning to disrespect the nation, our flag, or to those that serve it. It's a necessary act, which is necessary to show that they will not stand in silence while our culture remains the same. So they do kneel during the national anthem, but through this code program on campus, Jamal Thompson and also Dane Quest, two of the members of this basketball team, are part of the leadership of this. They actually organized a march earlier this year. You can see that the players all signed this pact to be a part of the solution for social change. And Jamal Thompson actually is the president of the code program on campus. So these guys have been really working hard at trying to promote social change, at trying to promote social justice. John Pelfrey applauds them so much. He said, we are completely with these guys. And one of the things that he said that they've done all year, especially with everything that happened during the summer, he said that we've been listening, we've been supporting them. We want our players to know that they have a very powerful voice, and we want to listen to them and help them further that voice. So great stuff from Tennessee Tech to try to promote social change and improve relations in this country. Luke Frampton knocks down the 3. And he's got 16 points tonight.
Just an effortless shooter. And just catches it in a rhythm and doesn't need a whole lot of time to get it off. And that one, we could hear the Nets from all the way up here on that one.
Now a bump and a foul, Kenny Cooper. Western Kentucky now building that lead a little more, up to 17. Rick Stansbury's team, already 4 top 100 wins so far this season, trying to move to 7-2 on the year. Dane Quest at the free throw line, sophomore from Toronto. And he hits them both. 15-point lead here at Diddle Arena.
Western Kentucky going right back to that same play, trying to get Frampton an easy one on the inside. And obviously with Tennessee Tech really worried about his three-point shot-making ability, he does a great job of taking what the defense gives him and an easy finish on the inside.
So Kozart, the dunk on one end, and now the block on the other. And Junior Clay gets the steal. Down the lane, lays it in.
Yeah, and a great job there by Junior Clay defensively, getting a hand on that ball, but just a careless turnover there for the Hilltoppers. They didn't have anything on the fast break, tried to bring it back out, but one of the most dangerous passes in basketball is throwing it from the corner back out towards the top of the key. So just a turnover that you just simply can't have, especially as we get closer to conference play.
9 miscues tonight from Western Kentucky.
And Junior Clay doing a great job chasing down that loose ball. Uses the rim to protect himself from the shot blocker, and an easy 2 in transition on the break. Tennessee Tech has done a good job of turning the Hilltoppers over today and creating offense off of those turnovers.
They have done that for sure. Western Kentucky, even though they've got a comfortable lead and have had one for most of the game, that has been one thing that I'm sure Rick Stansbury is going to want to clean up. A few miscues in this one. Anderson's second free throw will go right through. 12 points for Josh Anderson tonight. And the lead back to 17 for the Hilltoppers.
Wait, you mean he had some points that weren't a dunk?
I know. It's shocking, isn't it?
He's got a good-looking jump shot. I mean, he made those free throws pretty easily. And easy charge call there.
Yep. Josh Anderson this year actually an 82% free throw shooter. So when they do foul him, probably in a dunk attempt, he does hit for a pretty high average.
They had a good job there of holding his ground, and Austin Harvell for the Golden Eagles just dipping that shoulder, and referee's going to see that one 10 times out of 10.
Harvell now with 4 personal fouls. We dip under 6 minutes to go. Anderson.
Thought about it.
Yep, but he'll give it to the
Likes him shooting it better.
Threes. Luke Frampton knocking down another one, and he's got 19.
Why have a capable shooter shoot a three when you can have a great shooter shoot a three?
And Junior Clay answers back with a 3 of his own. Now 9 points here in the second half for Clay. The annual NBA on Christmas Day tradition continues. 5 of the best gifts anyone could ask for. Noon Eastern on ESPN, Pelicans Heat, then over on ABC, Warriors and Bucks, followed by Nets, Celtics, and Mavs, Lakers is on ESPN and ABC. We cap the day with Clippers and Nuggets at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. All 5 amazing matchups are also available on the ESPN app. So if you're looking to possibly avoid your family on Christmas, you can definitely do so. There's some great NBA action.
That looks like a great slate of games to watch in the basement in the man cave by yourself.
Oh, yeah. You know,
kids are asleep, tired from opening presents. You need to sneak away for an hour or two.
It's tough because now you got all these great games every year on Christmas. It's like you want to spend time with the family, but you're like, you know, I could use a couple hours of this game. Luke Frampton's had a great game tonight. He's got 19 points for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, and he has single-handedly been the difference in this basketball game. He's 5 of 8 from behind the arc for 15 points out of his 19. And, you know, when you're missing a 17-point-a-game scorer on the interior, you got a guy that can come in and make 5 threes. Obviously helps erase a pretty big hole there in the middle. But, you know, Tennessee Tech has done a very good job, very admirable job, in this game. They're shooting 41%, Western's shooting 42%, but the difference has been the three-point line. Western Kentucky has made 8 threes to Tennessee Tech's 4. So Luke Frampton, obviously a very, very big part of that.
Frampton's had a great game stepping into the starting lineup with Charles Bassey on the bench. Here's Frampton again.
Heat check.
Yes, sir. Luke Frampton now with 22.
I don't think he's hit the rim yet.
He has had one heck of a game.
I want to give Luke Frampton credit. I mean, he's obviously a terrific shooter. That's pretty evident. But if you're Coach Pelfrey and the Tennessee Tech coaching staff, that's where you get frustrated. Just, you know, almost the lack of awareness. He's got the hot hand. Tennessee Tech, Junior Clay tried to go shot for shot with him. But there's one guy in white that you just cannot lose. I mean, you almost got to take your help defensive principles out of play and just stay attached to him and just don't even give him room to get the shot off. You know, if he gets it off, it's got a chance to go in. Just don't even let him get the attempt up.
You said it. Really, he's been the difference in this game for Western Kentucky. Now on the drive, Anderson draws the foul, does a few push-ups for good measure. Goldman picks up his 3rd personal. So Anderson goes back to the free throw line. Knocks down the first. Western Kentucky will send Frampton off to the bench. And plenty of reasons for high fives, whether real or virtual, for Luke Frampton. 22 points.
Probably walked over there to the Charles Bassey and said, I'm taking your spot the rest of the way. Don't even think about coming back.
Yeah. Sure, Bassey was like, hey, you had a great game, but I'm coming back.
Well, in Western Kentucky, obviously, a team we talked about loves to live at the free throw line, but such a weapon, especially in close games, conference play, postseason play when you get there. Shoots 76% as a team from the free throw line. That is an outstanding number, and tonight, no different, 18 to 20. So just an unbelievable weapon that you know that you can have every time they go to the line. It's essentially 2 points.
It's really a big part of Rick Stansbury's coaching philosophy. As we said earlier in the game, this is a team that no matter where Rick Stansbury has been coaching, and certainly it's been the case since he's been in Western Kentucky, his teams get to the line more than their opponents, and they shoot way more free throws. When you win those battles, you're going to win games. 77 to 60, the Hilltoppers trying to get to win number 7. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. There's Big Red dancing with some of the kids and enjoying himself tonight. 77 to 60, Western Kentucky the lead over Tennessee Tech. I got to tell you, David, I think that Big Red is one of the best mascots anywhere. How can you not love Big Red? That is just awesome. You know who else has been awesome tonight? Luke Frampton, season high 22 points, 6 threes made in this game. And Western Kentucky trying to get to 7-2, should be their best start since the 12-13 campaign when they started 10-2. See Frampton 22 points, Josh Anderson 14-6, couple of big dunks, and Hollingsworth 10-7 in this one tonight.
Yeah, Luke Frampton, a guy that, to say that you've made 100 threes in a basketball season, in a college basketball season, is a crazy impressive number. And, just for him to come in tonight, it seems like whenever you're down a man, one of your star players, it's always somebody, kind of an unsung hero you least expect to step up. But, credit to him. He came in and shot the ball with confidence. Now, if I had a jump shot that looked like that, I would shoot the ball with confidence too. But right out of the gates, knocked down his first couple threes and never really looked back.
Just 2 points off a career high overall. His best at Davidson was 24, 22 tonight. There's a steal. Up and away, and another throwdown. This is Milton. Kylan Milton, the freshman from Monticello, Arkansas.
And the best part about that was watching the reaction of the bench. Obviously a freshman hasn't got a lot of playing time this year to get out and get a dunk. That had to feel good, but to see his teammates as excited as they were, that was terrific. See a loose ball scramble here. Thought it was going to be a jump ball for a second, but a great job there by Davion McKnight of giving it up. And you see Josh Anderson almost on the court. He's so excited for him. So you just got to love to see that unselfishness and happiness for your teammate to get his first collegiate dunk.
Well, if you impress Anderson, that's like the mentor, right, of the great dunk?
What I thought to myself for a second there, what is he doing under the basket? But then you kind of forget, with the way the benches are set up because of COVID, the chairs are almost already underneath the basket. So referees obviously got to be a little more lenient than in years past. So
I think Anderson was like, well done, young grasshopper. Free throw good from Franklin. Tamaria Franklin has had a nice game tonight for Tennessee Tech. 14 points in this one. Junior Clay is heated up in the second half with 12. Western Kentucky is topped 80 points and looking for a few more with 3 minutes to go. Go inside again. That one knocked away from Milton, out of bounds.
Yeah, good job there by Junior Clay. Western Kentucky ran that play earlier in the first half and it missed a wide open layup, but did a good job there of recognizing and helping off the back screen.
Inbound pass, a miss right there from Jackson Harlan, who's into the game. Nice drive and a nice finish from Rawls.
And Jordan Rawls is a guy that I think is going to have to be a pretty consistent contributor for the Hilltoppers. He'll fly under the radar a little bit just because of all the attention that the other guys will get, but he can score. I mean, he can shoot the ball from three, as we see Junior Clay trying to keep his team in this. But Jordan Rawls is a guy that can can score at all three levels, can knock down threes, can get in the lane, mid-range game, great free throw shooter. And, you know, the more he can contribute for them from a scoring standpoint, the better off they're going to be.
Well, even without Bassey tonight, you can see that there's just so many different weapons to beat you. If you're facing Western Kentucky, get Luke Frampton off the bench tonight, gives you 22. Jordan Rawls, 12 points tonight off the bench. There's just so many different guys that can get downhill and score.
Yeah, and it's a nice luxury to have. You know, you look down your bench and you got a couple guys that you can put in if you know, a couple guys aren't playing well or whatever the case may be. But it's a good problem to have when you've got a lot of offensive weapons, no doubt about that.
Under 2 minutes left here at EA Diddle Arena. McKnight into the paint, feeds off Cozart, and a nice finish from Isaiah Cozart.
And Isaiah Cozart has had a quietly pretty good game. A couple rebounds, a couple baskets. You know, got a couple fouls there in the first half, sent him to the bench a little bit. Had a really good blocker earlier in the game, so a good chance for him to get some opportunity with Charles Bassey out of the game. CJ
Gettelfinger threw that one, it got tipped away. Now driving down the lane, McKnight lost it, but Milton right there to clean it up and lay it in.
Yeah, that was a good play by Kenny White to get a hand on the ball and get a deflection, but rule number one, never save the ball from going out of bounds underneath the other team's basket, and that right there is example why.
Now White tries to make up for the mistake, misses the shot. Another opportunity, lays it in. So Western Kentucky getting set to pick up victory number 7 on the season. They'll move to 4-0 at home this year, and then go right back into Conference USA play, where they will play 2 games against Charlotte on New Year's Day and on the 2nd, and then take on Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, and all in all, I'd say a pretty successful non-conference slate for Coach Stansbury and his team. You know, going to finish 7-2. Your 2 losses coming against top 25 teams, and both Western Virginia was a neutral game, but at Louisville. So, you know, all in all, a pretty good start to the season, and I know they're really going to start to ratchet it up here as conference play begins. But in my opinion, this is definitely a top 25 team. I mean, there's no question about it. That they have the talent. They've shown that throughout the year, and they're going to be a handful, and I'd be very, very surprised if they don't end up finishing on top of Conference USA this year.
Yeah, they're receiving votes right now, but certainly have a good case to be a top 25 team. And as this season goes along, you figure that they will be there and be there at the end. 88-66, Western Kentucky. Time to move to 7-2. 3 try off target from Milton. The shot clock is off. And Gettelfinger will lay it in, and that's going to do it here. 88-68, Western Kentucky, the win over Tennessee Tech. And for David Padgett, my name is Jordan Burnfield. Thanks so much for joining us here at EA Diddle Arena. The Hilltoppers now 7-2, 4-0 at home this year, and they are now 23-4 at Diddle Arena in non-conference home games under Rick Stansbury. So their best start since the 2012-2013 season. They get it done tonight without Charles Bassey on the floor. They expect to have him return very soon, but a balanced team, a lot of weapons, and they're able to get the win. And so let's take a look at the preseason rankings now in Conference USA. Western Kentucky, you can see at the top. And so everybody's gunning for them. One of the things Rick Stansbury said today was that, you know, they expect expectations. They welcome it. He said, you want expectations because it means you're good. And he said, in this program, David, this is what they want every year. They want to be at the top of their league.
Well, this year is the culmination of terrific recruiting, terrific player development over the last couple of years, obviously with Charles Bassey and Tavion Hollingsworth, Josh Anderson, so on and so forth. And yeah, you never want to run from expectations. There's no doubt about that. You want to embrace it. And the bullseye's on their back. You know, there's an old saying, it's easier to get to the top than it is to stay at the top. Well, they've gotten to the top, and they're there now. So it's on them to stay there. But I think just based on their talent, based on their experience, based on their coaching, in their preseason schedule. I mean, you know, don't kid yourself. Getting great wins, against the Rhode Island team, getting great, win against Memphis, losing a close one to West Virginia. This team, they have a lot of pieces, and tonight that showed. Luke Frampton steps up, comes in big with Charles Bassey out of the game, right out of the gate, wide open three. Anytime you hit that first one, usually you're going to have a pretty good night. And the way he shoots the ball, shoots it with confidence. 2 for 2 so far, still hasn't hit the rim. That one didn't hit the rim. Just a terrific shooter, so effortless. I mean, a guy that you need to play him 3 or 4 feet behind the line. But, did a great job coming in, stepping in, contributing for his team, took advantage of that first start. And, a guy that's certainly going to be in everybody's scouting report moving forward.
He was great tonight. He had 22 points, 6 of 9 from 3, and also 5 rebounds to lead Western Kentucky to victory 88-68 here at Diddle Arena. So again, for David Padgett, my name is Jordan Burnfield, and for our entire crew, thanks so much for joining us tonight here from Western Kentucky. The Dogs were enjoying what they saw this evening. Western Kentucky, the victory over Tennessee Tech. Coming up next, it's North Dakota State at TCU. We hope you enjoy that one. Thank you so much for joining us, and Merry Christmas.